Hello, friends. Welcome to this lecture in Learn, Apply, and Build. We are studying finance with Python. Here, we are going to see what data types are in Python. So, we have already understood some built in functions as discussed earlier. They are print, type, and input, right? So, a type function gives us the type of that whatever the data is or the data which is stored in a variable particular variable. So let's say, for example, if I have name is equals to, and if I write my name here, if I write my name inside this, and if I want to type the if I want to check the type of this variable, so what I do is I type and then name. So whatever the data is stored inside this name variable, its type, or else the type of this variable I want to check, right? So the type is string, right? So that is a string now. Okay. Now if I declare a is equals to 20, and if I just happen to be like checking the type of this variable now, so if I write print and here, oh, sorry, if I write here a, and if I check the type now, I get class string for this type and integer for this, right? So that's 2, right? Now let's say if I have b is equals to 20.5. Now I again type the type. So again change it to b, save it and run it. So this is just for an understanding. Now what is it? It is a float because we had a dot here, right? It's a float, right? Now we have already discussed this before. We have a data type in Python which is complex numbers also are allowed in Python, right? So Python can read it. So let's say c is equals to, and I have 20j, let's say 20j. So if I type the type of c here, what I get is the type, that is the data type complex, right? Data type complex. Save it and let's give it a run. Now that's complex, right? So in this way, there are different data types. For example, a list. Now let's say you have a list of all the subjects. So let's say we made subjects is equals to, and I have three subjects. We say three subjects. Okay. So I have physics, math, and let's say management. Okay. So save this, and now if I check the type of list, so if I check the type of this subject, I find that this subject is a list, class list. So that is another data type in Python. See, list. Okay, so this is a data type in Python. Now there is another data type in Python. Now that's the syntax for a list, that is a box bracket. We'll be learning them in detail in the next lectures, but this was another data type here. Now there is another data type in Python which is called as a boolean, right? So if I have, so boolean will be like 1 and 0, or else it will be basically true and false. So if I have, let's say, r is equals to true and s is equals to false. Yeah, so these both have to be in capital letters. Okay, now if I type the print, I want to see the type of these two. They'll be bool, bool means boolean, right? So they are r and s. Okay, so if I just save this now, I'll have many data types: string, integer, float, complex, list, and these two are boolean, right? So that's a boolean. Then you have bytes as well. So after a boolean, now how to declare a byte, if you want like byte data type, so how is it declared? So basically you keep a b at the start. So b is equals to b, and then here you have learn. So if you have this declared, and if you type the print, if you print the data type of that variable, you will find that it is type byte. So let's see. bytes. Yeah, bytes. So these are basically the data types, and one more data type, that is none type. So basically none type is like, let's say y is equals to none, so there is no data, none type. So none is also a data type, and it is also used in the code when, like, if you just don't want anything to be returned or something, like you can use it or none to check if some data is present in a list or no. So you can use it in if statements basically, right? So if there is no value, if none in, or if none, or if list none, like that, right? So just print the final one, that is type none, save it, and then just run it now. So basically that's a none type. So these are all types. Basically you will have a test after you complete all these lectures, that is on variables, Python syntax, then using, so variables part 1 and part 2, data types, then you will have numbers and typecasting. So yeah, so these were the data types in Python. Now specific data type, you will also see a dictionary and a set, but we'll be doing them in detail, so that is why we are not covering it here, right? So thank you guys and happy learning.